OMIS 351, Unit 5, Social Media, Peer Collaboration and Production, and the Sharing Economy. That's a lot of words. What does it mean? Consider the comparison of Web 1.0, which was essentially a dump of a catalog onto the internet. So way back when, a web page gave you information, still useful, but you could not interact as a user, you could not participate. Think of our online schedule in OMIS 351. It's really a Web 1.0 page. You cannot create videos. I've created the content, I'm presenting the content to you, and you're viewing it and using it to succeed in the class. Still a good page, but a Web 1.0 page. A 2.0 page is a site that is interactive, where you can comment, you can add content, so it becomes a interactive experience where the users are participating, and it's incredibly powerful. To think about collaboration and peer production, consider the example of power drills in the United States. I own a power drill. There are an estimated 80 million power drills in the United States. And someone did a study and figured out that they are used on average 13 minutes a year. So that is not an effective use of resources. An example here might be something like, now we want to use technology to solve a business problem. An example might be something like creating a website, say in the neighborhood, where you would check out a power drill. Maybe 20 houses go in together and buy a power drill. You go to the website, you reserve a time, you get to use it. Now you're paying 1/20th of the price of the drill. You're sharing resources, you're collaborating. That kind of idea has leveraged immensely in our current economy. Think of Uber. Owning a car is expensive. You have to pay for the car. You have to pay for insurance. And so a company, Uber, said, we're going to make an app that coordinates and lets people who have excess capacity. So I'm paying insurance, I'm paying the price of the car, but I'm not using the car all the time. There's many hours in the day where I'm not using it. Wouldn't it be nice if someone would pay me to give them a ride somewhere and I could make money? So again, the technology becomes the intervention. The app enables this to happen. And Uber drivers in New York City average over $90,000 a year for a salary. My goodness. So they have the advantage of no dispatchers, no float, no medallion system. They can do an end around on taxi cab companies and the business model they had. And if you continue to think about something like Uber or Lyft, they're using their excess capacity to drive people around. What's another thing, that they might threaten, a segment they might threaten? Think about package delivery, or even we see now Uber Eats, where they are delivering food, competing with Grubhub and other places. So it's utilizing resources, it's aggregating demand by using technology, and then using the apps to distribute the supply so everybody can make more money, people get better service. It becomes a win-win-win. I opened up, and I don't do this often in these videos, but I opened up the chapter in your textbook on social media, peer production, and leveraging the crowd is the title. And the textbook is really good and it really stays current, and all of this stuff moves very quickly. So it's good to Google it. You want to read the textbook, of course, but click on some of these numbers. These little numbers are citations of where these very specific statistics come from. And so you can keep very current utilizing your textbook and really gain a lot of knowledge. Just look at this page, just this page I have pulled up. So our author doesn't like Web 2.0, but why do we still use it? Because many people in business still use it. So it's the advanced current web, and it empowers users to collaborate, create resources, and share information. So we're working together, we're sharing power drills, we're sharing automobiles. In the case of Airbnb, we're sharing hotel rooms, not hotel rooms, places to stay. Airbnb has more rooms for rent than the entire Hilton hotel chain. Oh my goodness. And so I just really enjoy reading these statistics and staying current. Look at this. Half of the top 10 internet sites in the world are social. And as a business professional of tomorrow, you may say, why am I studying something social? Well, if you've been paying attention, you know that social media has incredible power in brand building, in word of mouth advertising, most certainly factors into business, advertising, brand building, and other very important things that we as business professionals face. So you see something like TikTok. TikTok came out of nowhere, right? So it moves very quickly. You can't count on it. Look at this. Some of these numbers so fast. But the other side, Tumblr went down. So you got to know what's going on. What's WordPress? WordPress is a site for blogs. And what's a blog? A blog is a simple way to define a blog is it's like a Word document. If you could just post a Word document to your web page, which you could do that to your Google site. But then a blog adds comments from users and a discussion area, so it has that interactivity. But WordPress powers roughly 1 in 5 internet sites. Say that again, 20% of all websites are done by WordPress. It's incredible. They have small amounts of users relative to some of the biggest sites like Facebook or something, but they cover every conceivable interest or hobby or subject, these various blogs, because there's so many of them. So that's a concept that you saw in the Netflix case called the long tail. If you draw a graph, what are you interested in? I'm interested in restoring Cinderella figurine salt shakers. That's a crazy reference, right? How many users are going, how many people in the world are really going to be interested in that? But the point of the long tail is that you can find it. So it's a small number of users, but many choices. If there's a subject that you're interested in, you could probably find a discussion about it, information about it, someone who's an expert in that area. You could probably find that on WordPress. So very, very interesting with the long tail and other things. And then we keep reading something here. Microsoft bought LinkedIn. That's a professional social network. Maybe not a way to say it. Probably well, that's how the author says it right here. And they paid $7.5 billion for GitHub. GitHub is a way to develop software, build information technology solutions, if you will. But what happens is users answer questions on GitHub for others. GitHub, Stack Exchange, and so they're going back and forth to develop software, and they're people, you say, why would anybody, I see why I might post a question if I'm having trouble and I need help solving the problem I'm having with my software program. Why would you answer a question? Because in the interactivity, you get a high rating. And if you get a high rating on GitHub, you could end up being employed. So this is very important. We're seeing this make a difference for employability. Here it says down here, as Forbes declares, software engineers are in demand and GitHub is how you find them. So you get a job by earning your reputation from your peers. This guy's has answered so many questions. He's the best software developer there is. And then a lot of money changes hands. So again, I love reading through these statistics. Look at Instagram. 1 billion monthly active users who share over 95 million photos per day. And what happens in there, there's a lot of advertising dollars. You have to see those ads. Our eyeballs get assaulted by ads. So with that kind of traffic, these companies have opportunities to sell advertising space. Look at YouTube. 500 hours of video uploaded to YouTube each minute. Now think about if you were trying to store that much video. This video that I'm speaking to you on now, I've uploaded to YouTube. I'm using YouTube. It's a reliable platform, and so they get to advertise to you. I obviously don't get any of that money, but YouTube does. So they say, we'll provide you with all this space to put your videos. We'll make it available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the price, if you will, it's free technically, but there are billions of views and then revenue from advertising. So we have to all look at those ads. So very, very interesting statistics. Well worth looking at of course, reading your chapters and not just stopping on the book. So finally coming over here to our participation quiz discussion guide. Why is this unit important? Oh my goodness. Web 2.0 is exploding. Businesses better take note. People are generating content. These sites have influence with brand, with dollars, with sales, with everything. So you really, even as a business professional, have to pay attention. Talked about package delivery here. Talked about OMIS online schedule here. A lot of things here we'll be discussing. Here's the example that I backed up from before. Web 1.0, Web 2.0. There's what peer production is. We work together. In the OMIS 351 online schedule, I am the single author. In something like a discussion board for the class, everyone gets to participate and speak. This is the wave of the future. This is how things are going now. Talked about what a blog was. Microsoft Word page that becomes interactive on a web server, and gave the Wordpress example. We know what wikis are. Websites that anyone can edit and contribute to. How does that get quality control? Just so many users. It is amazing how accurate of a source Wikipedia is. And I, as a professor, will accept Wikipedia as a bibliographic source in a research report. Very interesting here now talking about peer collaboration. Who does the work in Wikipedia? The world of internet users does the work. Wikipedia has just over 7 full-time employees. Their budget is less than $1 million a year. And they are consistently in the top 5 visited internet sites in the world. That is only possible with peer production and collaboration. Incredible. We know what social networks are. The most famous is Facebook. You can post pictures, make comments, lots of things going on. By the way, we've all heard this story at this point, but talk about influence. They've become activist tools. They've led to fake news, and this is the story that we've all heard of right here. Russia purchasing 3,500 Facebook ads to try and influence the United States election in 2016. 80,000 Facebook posts, 120,000 on Instagram. So they are trying, Russia in this case, and many others, trying to influence us. So how do you block yourself from fake news? You start by being a little skeptical of everything, and more importantly, you cross-validate everything. So if you see a post that says, Chuck Downing is a bad person, get it from another source. And again, a Facebook post is easy to fake or spoof, but a website is not. So for example, you see a post on Facebook, Chuck Downing is a bad person, he did this, something terrible. Hopefully you don't see that. Please, in whatever the piece of information is, go to multiple other sites. I don't want to recommend sites, but CNN.com, ABCnews.com, applenews.com. You go to many sites, and even though sometimes those sites use each other as sources, and they've gotten in trouble for those sort of things, a cross-validation will help you get unduly or incorrectly influenced by fake news or fake information. It's really a time in our history where we have to be very vigilant and protect ourselves from something like that.